Welcome to the Justified Podcast, the officially unofficial podcast for Justified on FX. I'm Jim.
I'm Aaron.
And today we're talking about Season 6, Episode 12, titled Collateral. What did you think of this episode, Aaron?
I thought it was really good. There's a couple things I don't know. I'm having to suspend my disbelief on a bunch of stuff. But overall, I thought it was really good. I thought the presumably prelude to the showdown of Raylan and Boyd was excellent.
Yeah, a little teaser there.
I thought Zachariah's end of the series was excellent. I thought the stuff with Eli Thompson and Boyd, the battle of Boyd Crowder was really awesome.
I did too. I like that.
Big crowd pleaser with Constable Bob.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Elliott turned up to 11.
Yep.
I mean, he went down a full octave. He had about 50 pounds more gravel in his voice. What more do you want? Like I said, I can quibble here and there, and I will nitpick this maybe more than I usually do, but what the hell? I enjoyed it, and it's 2 weeks ago, I would have been like, I don't see how in the hell they're going to wrap all this up in the finale and have me satisfied. But I already did that, and then they punched me in the gut last week with a truly compelling Boyd getting out of hospital/prison and going on a rampage. So
yeah.
I think showing the mirror universe version of that for Raylan, like maybe Art comes and is personally, I mean, I can believe anything. Art coming and personally unlocking him out of jail and cutting him free and like putting his whole career on the line for him.
Sure.
And that would be fun. Why not? And I'm sure if I can think of that in 2 seconds, that the Yost at the most has got this covered. Now,
I think so. Yeah.
I will be ready to fucking ream them all if they let us down next week, but I got the faith so far.
All right. I liked it. I did not think it was as good as like last week, for instance. It's tough to beat last week's Mikey rampage. That was spectacular.
There was nothing as emotionally resonant as that.
Yeah. But I still definitely like it. We had a lot of technical problems when I was watching it, so
your first
I
watch
think that
was
might have
rough.
affected me. Like there was a lot in the Boone scene that just it kept cutting out, and I couldn't really watch it the way I wanted to. So I'm thinking maybe that had an effect on it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try and give it a little bit of leniency, but I also have some things to nitpick. Certainly, some big kind of holes in this.
Oh, really?
thing. Yeah.
All right.
But whatever. We'll get there. Where do you want to start with this? You want to kind of take it by character here?
Shall we talk about the writer and director stuff? I know it's your favorite segment.
Oh, yeah. No, I love this stuff. This is great.
It was directed by Michael Pressman, who, I call this out for Walking Dead, so I have to keep it real and call it out for on Justified. This guy is most famous movie he's ever directed, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze.
Perfect.
Yeah. A little bit higher profile than Timon and Pumbaa, to be fair, and Power Rangers. He's directed just one Justified ep before, and he's done a lot of television, but it's kind of a lot of it seems unremarkable television. Like think NCIS, think Elementary on CBS, think of stuff like that. So he did a fine job. I didn't see any like weakness in that particular part of it. It was written by Chris Provenzano and VJ Boyd, who also co-wrote Dark as a Dungeon a few episodes back. Yeah. And Chris Provenzano has quite a few writing experience. He's written episodes of Archer, Mad Men, among others. And VJ Boyd, as we discussed the last time, is pretty much started his career on Justified. And he seems to be getting a great career start, but he doesn't have a lot of history outside of that. So,
okay. There are a lot of questions I have about this episode.
Okay.
And where it's going to take us. I don't know that I want to start there. Maybe we should start talking about some of the things that happen. You know, I thought there were some really good stuff in here with Loretta and Boone and Markham.
I wouldn't mind starting with Markham.
Yeah, Loretta at this point is kind of a side thing. I mean, it seems
a
like
side piece.
No.
Boone, that's his main squeeze.
I know.
I think you're selling him short there.
It's a little disturbing. It seems to me like they might leave Harlan County in kind of the hands of one of these weed farmers. I don't know if it's going to be Markham. I don't know if it's going to be Loretta. But
it's going to be
lean
Loretta.
Toward Loretta. Yeah, because I think Markham has to die by the end of this.
Yep.
But I don't know. I didn't like some of this stuff. I don't buy. Like, why does he need Loretta other than get the people on his side?
I think,
and if he can buy up all the property from Loretta, what does it matter?
Well, I think what she said is, if you're wrong about this legal weed and it doesn't go the way you think it will, then you're still running a criminal organization, and you'll need me because I have connections to the Harlan underworld that you will never have.
Who's left in the Harlan underworld? Everybody's dead. Everybody.
There's Shit Kicker McGee.
There's the Mountain Men. That's
and
it,
there's
man.
Goat Eating Freddy.
Loves to eat goats.
Up at Buttfuck Holler. I mean, you just haven't seen them. Sure, but they're
Boyd,
a vital part of the underbelly of Harlan.
Boyd has basically brought down the criminal element in Harlan County. Single-handedly.
Yeah. No,
Who's she got? She's got her dumbass ex-boyfriend helping her out
this is sweating the black gold. You can't.
I know. That's the other thing. Like, you're trying to tell me that Loretta knows more about growing weed than horticulturists or botanists or chemists or anybody who's been classically educated.
Hey, anybody can grow marijuana. Yeah, if you grow marijuana that's being hydrated by a slurry pond, you need a girl from Harlan.
Apparently so, or at least that's what the show wants me to think.
I'm telling you, the underpinnings of this whole season, as entertaining and as awesome as it been, are fucking weak and shallow.
Okay.
They're like moss growing on cement. There's just no purchase there. And once you skim that first layer off, it's
that's
limbo. It's limbo mode down in the what's that Bois movie? Inception. No, you go straight to limbo if you cut through the first hole in this plot.
You can never come back.
Yeah, there's no kick to get you out of it. So I urge you to not do that coming in. We're so close to the finale, man. Just keep that.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I mean, we've talked about, how this stacks up to other seasons so far. And in my mind, that alone, the idea that this plot is just hanging by a thread kind of makes it nowhere near as good as season 2.
Plus, I think we need to calm the fuck down on that. I just watched the finale of season 2 of Justified.
Oh, yeah?
I don't believe they can make a better one. That final scene with Mag, I mean, there was no bullshit or nothing after that. It was Mag's, here comes the hard part. You'll never leave Harlan alive. Credits. I mean, that was awesome. I don't know that they can wrap up the series as well as that. If they do, Jesus, we're in for a treat next week. I think it can be satisfying and something that services the true Justified fans, and that's fine.
Yeah, definitely.
But no, I suspect that when I watch season 2 of Justified, it's going to still be the best one. Okay.
That said, there was a lot in that scene to like. I think Boone squaring off with this dumbass kid.
No, well, we need to get a taste.
Kind of amazing.
We needed to get a taste that he wasn't
and we got it.
Yeah.
I mean, quick draw, yes, he can do that.
Yeah,
he's willing to gun kids down, so not a problem.
Sure.
I thought that stuff was really awesome, and then Markham comes in and has his conversation, and that was good. It was good.
What do you think about Markham talking to the dead body of Catherine?
Also good. I like how it was kind of a conflict for him.
I love the fact that they've been telling the story the whole season, but this woman kind of breaks him
a little bit.
He's this man of he's a careful man, and he's a cautious man, and he's a logical man, but he throws all that out the window for her, even down to his metaphysical beliefs.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then at the end, what works, first of all, it works because Sam Elliott is righteous. But it also works at the end because he kind of gets that growl and says, I'm going to kill Wynn Duffy. I'm going to slit him nose the butthole or whatever he says, nose the scrot. But I'm going after my money first, goddammit, talking to ghosts or not. That was great. I thought that was a great performance with a corpse.
It was definitely. Which makes me wonder how the hell he's going to get his hands on Duffy or the money at this point. Like the money, he might get a little bit of it from Ava.
What are the odds that Wynn Duffy rolls around in the van from Dumb and Dumber next episode?
That would be amazing.
I think so too.
Amazing. And he's singing the Mockingbird theme song. Good question. I have tons of questions like going forward. One of them is, how does Markham plan to get his hands on Duffy? Because we don't see any hint of that.
Well, how does he plan on getting it? Well, so you're presupposing, and I think it's fairly obvious in with multiple watches, that Ava's phone call running down the mountain was to win Duffy.
Potentially, yeah.
She's who else would she be calling? I guess Limehouse, maybe.
Well, yeah, she does head over the bridge to the holler, right?
So they did. I thought that's a false hearing because Win Duffy is asking for 2 passports.
He is,
and a truck specially designed to hide the amount of money they're talking about. Mikey's dead. Who would the other passport be for?
Could be for Ava.
I mean,
certainly could be.
Could it be for Boyd?
Could man, could be for Boyd.
I don't see how they possibly trust each other enough.
That's the thing, man. I feel like that phone call with her going over the bridge that I think goes to Noble Holler.
It does look like the Noble Holler bridge. I'll give you that.
I think she made the phone call to Limehouse to help her hide out again, you know? And even though that's the one mistake, the one thing that Limehouse wishes he could take back.
Yeah.
She's hoping he might do it again. And she's got a backpack full of money, so it's not out of the question.
Well, it could be that Limehouse is somehow involved as a broker in all this deal.
Okay.
I'm trying to think, like, I briefly entertained, like, can I make an argument for Win Duffy getting Raylan out of town? And I'm like, no, I really can't. I am worried about Raylan.
Wants to go yet.
Yeah, I get that, but Raylan's flirting with a murder charge at this point.
He is.
And I don't understand. The one thing I don't understand after last week's episode was why he left the badge behind and his federal ID behind. Because Art saying you got 48 hours to do this and then I'm going to come get you. Well, your badge still has value. I mean, the things you're doing could be seen as, you know, justified actions of a law enforcement officer. You leave the badge behind, and maybe that's why Art was freaking out. That Raylan, maybe that was Raylan's way of making sure that nobody in the marshal's department took a fall for him. Because obviously they were content to kind of, you know, carry his weight for him.
Yeah, there's, you know, the whole the whole office scene with Tim and Vasquez, and
Vasquez pissing in Tim's ear.
Vasquez, man, he is so angry. Yes. So angry, and nobody is given an inch, least of all Tim.
But that's the thing.
I think it's hilarious.
It is hilarious, but they've made Vasquez so impotent this season. He just screams and yells about a bunch of shit that never happens.
It's like, on purpose, though.
You can't scream at a whole office full of marshals and say they're all going to jail because they're trying to protect. I mean, come the fuck on. This is the United States.
Yeah.
Every police force covers for. I mean, even when they're clearly doing something bad and guilty in the public eye, don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
they stand by their own.
You can't tell me that the DA wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
He would know that. And I mean, he's just at
nobody's going to arrest or send to jail all these marshals. It's just but
at the same time, I get it, because I mean, the guy has been, you know, on the trail of Boyd and trying to make this case for the longest time. He's fed up, he's angry, he's irrational, and he's just yelling shit.
Yeah.
He's so angry he can't control himself.
So do you think you buy my theory that Raylan did that as a way to protect the marshals?
That's a good theory. I like it.
I mean, it's interesting that the Art continued to try to protect him.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe it has something to do with this 48 hours thing. I don't know how long it was between episodes. Maybe 48 hours.
No, I think it's a single day, because it was nighttime when they were having that conversation.
With the stuff in the cabin, that's kind of how I felt too.
Yeah.
So I don't know why before the 48 hours he would leave his stuff behind.
Well, what do you think about Art? Because Tim is relaying all this stuff that's happening with Vasquez in the office kind of in real time. Someone on the forums joked that Tim was live tweeting the Vasquez indictment. And Art's like, shit, double shit. But they have to have some kind of plan to squash this. Like,
it seemed like it.
Yeah, and I wonder if these guys taking Raylan Givens into custody is all a sham, that they're actually going to somehow be escorting him away from the FBI or taking him to I don't know what they're going to do, but I wonder if these are like Art's dudes that are going to help Raylan out.
Could be.
Yeah.
That seems like it would get Art in more hot water.
No, but I kind of like that like there's this, it's kind of like those crows on the old Warner Brothers cartoon, or maybe it was the Woody Woodpecker stuff. They're like, oh, after you. No, after you. They're having a self-sacrifice off.
Okay.
Art's like, well, I'm going to give you 48 hours, even though it's going to get me in trouble. Raylan's like, well, fuck you. I'm turning in my badge. And then Art's like, well, fuck you. I'm going to use calling all my favors and get you escorted out of here. And then Raylan shoots himself in the head. That's where it's going.
Just send him to Florida.
They totally Tales of Two Cities him.
Okay. Let's go back briefly to Win Duffy.
Okay.
Because I have yet another question about Duffy.
How much? I question that he led with the diamond bracelet and ring when he has a signed, autographed Billie Jean King authenticated tennis ball.
You're right.
I mean, open market value. I feel like that's got higher value than a bunch of perhaps fake diamond jewelry.
Sure, could be fake.
Plus, they're covered in toothpaste.
They're probably covered in blood too.
Prescription toothpaste at that.
Yeah. So those were clearly stuff that he took off of Catherine. Yes.
Yes.
Off of her body.
Yeah, no, it was her giant wedding ring and her.
Yeah.
I can't even keep track if it's fake or not tennis bracelet.
I think it's real. I think the fake one ended up in the jewelry store.
I've always taken that as a matter of fact that diamond jewelry does not have any kind of value on the retail market.
Maybe.
Like, have you been to a pawn shop ever? It just seems like they're not worth shit once they lose that new diamond smell. So I don't get how much real world crime money a diamond tennis bracelet and a big engagement ring would fetch on the street.
Yeah, it seemed like, I don't know, maybe this lady likes jewelry because she was wearing like big old earrings.
Could be.
Like diamond earrings, a big old diamond tennis bracelet. Looked a lot like the one that
maybe
she was given, actually. She had a big thing in her hair.
But still, let's say the street value of this is 50 grand. I don't feel like that's anywhere close to paying for what he's asking for.
A truck, two passports.
Yeah, like
a gun.
A mobile dog washing truck, I would expect to be at least 10, 15 grand, even a used one, right?
Oh, at least, yeah.
I mean, that's a custom thing. Like, have you seen how much a fucking food truck costs?
A lot. Yeah.
A lot of money. So, you know, like I'm saying very generous, these things are worth 50 grand. That's cheap. I kind of want to go and get a gun and 2 fake passports and a smuggling dog wash truck right now.
Okay.
Instead of this bald move funding stuff, I could cash my 401k and just about make that happen.
It's the new studio.
Not for any purpose, just because I can.
Yeah, just build a studio in the back of the truck.
A right not exercised is a right lost, Jim. I don't know if I want to live in a world where I don't have the right to buy a mobile dog washing station from a black market.
My other question in this scene. Duffy says, hey, I need a truck, a gun, 2 passports. He never says who the second passport is for. That seems to be a huge problem. And then at the end of the scene, he gets up and he walks away.
Like, if that's the thing. Yeah. You need a photo. I mean,
you have to have a photo.
You have to have a photo. You do.
And if the photo doesn't match the face, it's useless.
And
so she needs to know at least who that's for and have a picture of him.
And all they have to do is cut it while they're still on the bench, and we wouldn't probably have that because you could just assume they work out the details. But him getting up and walking away implies a decisive end. I mean,
like,
I guess,
okay, the deal's set. I'll just come back later and get him.
Yeah, I guess after the scene ends, you can say that he spun on his heel and says, "Oh, right,
shit." He calls
right. I forgot the photos. Here's the photos I've been keeping in my wallet.
Yeah, here's a photo of Boyd.
But yeah, that was a very loose connection here, and obviously it's
unfortunate because it's easy to fix.
And they did that so we would be in the dark.
Yes, obviously.
But yeah, it has the side effect of making them look foolish.
Yeah. Why don't we talk a little bit about Bob? What do you think of seeing Bob
before
again?
we move off Duffy?
Oh, okay.
We see Vasquez, or as Tim says, Vasquez, talking with Duffy and telling him what a great lawyer he has, which is that shorthand for I don't know how the hell when Duffy gets out of this situation, out of being at least put in prison or jail, barring indictment on a grand jury. But whatever, he's got a really good lawyer. He asked him if he knows who killed Simon Poole straight up.
Yeah.
Win Duffy says he does not. Now, is Win Duffy joking? Because he does have a wry look on his face, but that's 50% of the time he has a look on his face. It's a wry one. Or is it the double snitch theory still alive?
Man, I don't want to hear about this fucking snitch anymore. I don't care.
So like, then why did they bring it up?
Exactly. I don't know. I wish they hadn't. I wish that line had not been in there unless they're going back to it.
I hated
and
the
I
line
don't see why.
Because it makes Vasquez look like even more of a fucking idiot. Like, really? You think Win Duffy's going to fall for the no, seriously, off the record, you can tell me, wink?
I just don't like digging up that buried plot. Like,
no, I mean,
let the plot lay where it is and just, unless they're going to do something big with that in the finale.
It better be mind-blowing.
It needs to be big. Yeah.
Or just not mention at all. Because, yes, at this point, now that Catherine is dead, who cares if it's a double snitch situation?
Yeah.
Or it'd be one thing if Markham and Duffy were teamed up. Then that might be interesting in a double snitch situation because they both can't trust each other. But as Duffy points out, he's one of the many planets aligned with a gun that hates his guts that are here to kill him.
Yeah.
I just don't get that scene. It seemed like it just did nothing but damage to the characters.
I mean, it was funny going through his stuff, and it showed
that's
showed
fine.
the Eagle Scout knife, and that
do you think
that was nice?
Is that Mikey's knife?
I think so. Yeah.
Man, that's
my assumption.
Talking about your, no pun intended, twist of the knife in the guts.
Yeah.
I know Mike used to be a good boy. Used to be a fucking Eagle Scout with a code.
Hey man, he does have a code. He does have a code. It's part of the Eagle Scout code. Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely things to like about that scene, but I don't know.
Do you
why
think
they
there's
brought
like a murdering a GILF merit badge? Because if so, he just got the gold embroidered one.
What does the G stand for?
Grandmother.
Oh, okay.
Or is that G-MILF? Gamilf?
I think it would. I don't know.
Gamilf starts sounding like a dwarfen character from the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah. He's going to get the ring next, and it's all going to be over. Okay. I feel like that's enough about that scene, yeah?
Sure.
Let's talk about Bob.
Okay.
What do you think about seeing Constable Bob back again?
In
an old ass gremlin.
The best is him opening the garage and seeing it stolen, and in real time he's like, "You stole my car, haven't you, Raylan?"
And you know how much he loves that car.
Sure,
too. He saved up all that money for it.
Sure, but the return of the gremlin was pretty glorious.
Yeah, it was.
It's another one of those things where like I was just laughing so hard, and because Cecily just started watching last season, did not get any of that stuff. Like when he started going for the car tarp, I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, there it is.
It was perfect.
It was perfect.
When I saw Patton Oswalt in season 3 of this thing?
4.
Is it 4? It's 4.
Yep.
When I first saw him, I was like, man, I don't know. I don't really think he fits this show at all.
He's a fan and a comedian.
And he's making Star Wars references left and right. And I was like, man, this is a little weird, but he is become one of my favorite parts of the show.
And like I said,
because they use him sparingly.
Right.
That is the key to the Constable Bob performance.
And there's something about this like try hard mall cop wannabe that's actually fairly good at what he does.
There is, yeah.
And
he's willing to put it all on the line.
Yeah.
Time after time.
Just as much respect as I had for Mikey for the way he soldiered up for Win. Bob, man, taking on Boyd, knowingly taking on Boyd. That's the thing. That's some Sam stabbing Shelob in the guts from Lord of the Rings business. Like that is Did
you just watch Lord of the Rings or something?
I don't know. It's on the. Well, you know what? I blame Sepinwall for making that goddamn Precious joke in his Better Call Saul. Yeah. That's what got me on Lord of the Rings frame of mind. But no, I don't know. I thought it was great and it's believable.
Yep.
I believed everything about his character down to the wanting to be asked Indiana Jones trivia to keep himself from going into shock. And he's like reading out of him. But that's the thing. He's this guy that has all this theoretical knowledge, but he's got the ability to put it to practical use too. I think that's pretty cool.
I like him a lot. It's
a nerdy character that pays homage to being a nerd, but also is not like, exploitative.
Yeah.
Seems like respectful. But yeah, no, I'm glad he lived too, because I was really worried.
Did he live? Are you sure he lives? He got to the hospital.
He was alive as Raylan got him to the hospital. If he dies off screen or even next week, I kind of think I'll be pissed.
Okay.
That's just low blow, making me think he's safe, and then
yeah, I hope Raylan got him there in time.
See, I was thinking that they might go for him bleeding out literally under the hands of Raylan, and Raylan feeling bad for delaying even a few seconds to go. Did Raylan break off his engagement with Boyd to go rescue?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think what happened is he just lost Boyd. And then he decided, well, okay, I guess I'll go save Bob.
Did that scene play for you? Because I saw some people not liking the fact that, you know, it made Raylan look silly for losing Boyd, vice versa. But I felt like that scene works if you buy it as like, this is Hollywood's version of Pitch Black night in the Harlan woods.
Sure.
Moon is behind the clouds. You can't see shit until the moon comes out. I bought that scene as two guys stumbling around in the dark trying to kill each other, but not being able to really get a good peg on each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I do too. I mean, if I was going to nitpick, I would say maybe they did a little much talking, little too much talking for not being able to find each other. It's pretty easy to triangulate sound. Usually.
In the mountains? It's all echoing around. And...
I know it's echoey in the mountains, but like they weren't speaking super loud.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like unless you're shouting in the mountains, it's not going to echo so much.
But they're also moving continually.
Yeah.
I thought that was a key thing too.
Sure. And like I said, that's super nitpicky. I think overall the scene definitely worked for me. Anyway.
Anytime you're arguing that there should be less talking in a Boyd and Raylan scene, you know you're picking a pretty fine nit.
Yeah.
But no, I got the feeling too that he didn't break it off to save Bob so much as he just lost Boyd and thought, well, why not?
Yeah.
What did you think Boyd meant by, well, damn, Raylan, I've already won?
I don't know. What do you think?
Damn it, I was hoping he'd have a good theory.
I mean, he doesn't seem to have won.
Well, so that only it only seems like a victory if you presuppose that what Boyd really wants to do is corrupt Raylan to the dark side, which has kind of been a mission statement for him. He's said numerous times, you know, you ought to be running with me and your dad because you get to be an asshole and shoot people, which is what you enjoy doing.
Sure.
And there's always been a lot of truth to that. So maybe Boyd, they both want to win. In Raylan's mind, that means Boyd is literally bleeding out his feet. Like Ava was right. In Boyd's mind, it seems like it'd be enough for him to corrupt Raylan. I don't know how else to parse that.
If that is the case, he's kind of right. I mean, Raylan is now, for all we can tell, given up his badge.
Sure.
And he's just out for blood.
No. And that's something
he's just as much of an outlaw as Boyd is.
And what's interesting is like none of the marshals are cool with that.
No.
Neither Tim nor Rachel nor Art are cool with this vigilante bullshit.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's going to be some awkward situations when I go back to all these conversations Art had with Raylan in the kitchen about this very thing. And I wonder if there's going to be something that Art is going to be able to tell Raylan next episode as part of the "you owe me, kid" speech for getting you out of this. That's going to bring Raylan to his senses and reinstill the need to bring Boyd to justice, not just to kill him.
Okay.
And if so, is that satisfying? Or would you rather have Raylan kind of gun Boyd down as an outlaw?
Man. That's a really tough question.
The other thing making me think this is they've been really hitting the "I'm an outlaw, motherfucker, bang, bang" aspect to Boyd. Yeah. And I think that once Raylan does that, it's just really a matter of degree between him and Boyd. And I think the show's making us feel very uncomfortable for kind of rooting for Boyd ever, honestly.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, they've done a hell of a job making him a true bad guy at the end of this.
Shall we talk about his scenes with Shea Wiggum?
I did want to say for Raylan, it seems to me like what I'm rooting for Raylan doesn't necessarily have to happen, of course, in the show. But I really want him to get out of Harlan alive.
Sure.
Now, we all know the song, "Never Leave Harlan Alive." I don't know that he does, but that's what I want for him.
Sure.
And I feel like if he were to, at this point, kill Boyd, he probably doesn't get out of Harlan in a way that allows him to be with his daughter and Winona.
No, it doesn't feel like it. No. And even Boyd brings that, like, even if you escape legal consequence, surely your daughter's going to find out one day who you really are.
Yeah.
And what's that going to be like?
Raylan tries to play that off in this conversation, but I don't know that he believes it.
Yeah, I don't know that. Do you think, does he really try to? I mean,
he does. He's like, my daughter is gonna do her own thing, go her own way. That's not on me. He tries to act like he's unconcerned about it, but I don't think he really is. I think he kind of is more concerned than he lets on.
Yeah. What do you think Boyd's game here is? Do you think he wants to kill Ava or just get the money? Because he says to Zachariah, you want to protect her, you get me the money before I catch up with her, implying that maybe because he loves her, if he gets his money back, he's willing to overlook all the other shit and just disappear and leave her alone.
Yeah.
But if he has to go track her down to get the money, it's going to go badly. That's how I parse that.
I think you're right. And it makes me wonder now that she's in Arkham's custody, I guess. You know, that has to bring Arkham and Boyd together at this point.
Man, there is a lot of stuff to go down.
Yeah.
To go down before this season's over, man.
Yeah, and I wonder, like, I don't know, the 2 passport thing. I can't see Boyd getting killed by Arkham. I can't see it. If anybody's going to win that battle, it's going to be Boyd.
Yeah, who wants to see that?
Nobody.
I don't think Yost wants to see that. So yeah, I don't
exactly.
think so.
So like,
when they get there, Boyd and Raylan have to come in direct conflict. Now they don't. That doesn't mean like I will accept Ava killing Boyd in a situation like that.
Sure,
I will kill I will accept a third interloper interfering with that showdown.
Duffy
or Boone.
Sure, yeah.
But I cannot abide them not coming into direct conflict. I mean, that's me saying that, knowing that maybe they could do that, and
they would have to really twist it.
I'd have yet another clown suit stitched for me by Yost. But I'm just saying, it seems like everything I've read from Yost says yes, I acknowledge these are 2 elemental forces that have to come into conflict.
Yeah, I really hope so. What about Limehouse? Do you think he's going to be in the finale, or have we seen the last of Limehouse?
It depends on who Ava calls.
Whether
I don't
know that she gets a choice now, but
well, right.
I mean, if she called Limehouse, maybe he comes after her to help her. But I can't imagine.
Got nothing right now, man.
She's got that big sack of money. That's it.
It's a fraction of.
And we know that Limehouse actually wanted to get his hands on it. Limehouse seems to be bought for fairly cheap, honestly. Yeah, I mean, that $100,000 from Boyd didn't seem like enough money to do what he was asking him to do. So if Ava's strapped with $1 million, I mean, how much do you think she has in that bag?
I was thinking
$700,000.
I was thinking 500.
500.
It looked like
that might be enough for Limehouse.
Like she was carting around the 1/20th of that total pack size.
Okay,
but
yeah, I don't know. That's a lot of money for Limehouse, I think.
Sure.
So who knows what he's going to do, or if he's even going to be in the finale, but we'll see.
What you think of Raylan with the Hill Folk scene? I believe they were last seen in season 5.
Okay.
Where they happened upon Boyd and Raylan and can find them in a box or a shed together. I'm
not sure why that was in there. Really.
Yeah, I guess it's a way to wrap up neatly the what's going to happen to Raylan's house subplot, although that's not in the top 10 list of things I was looking to see wrapped up.
I assume that was going to go to Loretta.
Well, but then he said, I can't do it with you working for Boyd and now Markham. Do you think that there's...
But if he kills Boyd, he's free to leave his house to Loretta.
Do you think, because there's also a blood tie here as well, do you think that this is going to be something like where a part of Harlan County rises up to protect its own? Like Raylan giving him this property are going to touch these hill folks so much that there's going to be some kind of hillbilly cavalry coming to save the day. Like Raylan's been done dirty by Boyd, and Boyd's standing over, and then look over the dawn of the yonder mountain
men up there with rifles pointed at him,
riding mules, riding black bear.
Sure, and there you go. I don't know. Maybe that might happen.
Because
not that exact scenario, obviously.
Right, but else it kind of feels weird.
Here's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Collateral. Do you know what the word collateral means?
Kinda.
Okay, definition as searched in Google says something pledged as security for a repayment of a loan to be forfeited in the event of a default, which is not the interesting definition. The interesting one to me is the second definition of a person having the same descent in a family as another, but by a different line.
Really?
And he kept mentioning cousin Mary.
Yeah. That's that isn't that Raylan's stepmom?
Cousin Mary. I'm not
the one that died. The one that died early on in the series. We should probably, if you want to make this theory, maybe we should look that up.
All right, let's look that
I don't
up.
actually think it affects your theory because I like where you're going.
Let's look that up
because that would connect Raylan through a indirect blood tie.
Yeah. How do you look?
Look at search for Mary Givens. I would say Mary Givens. Oh my God! There's too many fucking real life Mary Givens. Mary Givens Justified.
Cousin to Frances, Helen, and Raylan Givens.
Ah, that's it.
This guy Cope.
Yeah. Man, the problem is I just barely remember this Hill Folk angle from season 4.
Me too. Yeah, this Cope guy isn't actually related to him.
But she's the cousin of his stepmom. Yeah?
I think she's his cousin. Mary is his cousin of Raylan.
Interesting.
And his mother, Frances? Oh, no.
Oh, shit. I forgot that Raylan's stepmom was the sister of his real mom.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It says, yeah, she was Raylan Givens' stepmother, formerly his aunt.
Yeah, that's strange.
Yeah. Okay. So how? I still don't think this takes away from your point that the name of this episode is potentially a very sly direct reference.
We got to figure out a way to edit this back in because
maybe you should just start from the top with your theory, with the definition of collateral.
Well, now I feel like the theory is somewhat busted.
Why?
By this guy not being directly related. I don't know.
But he is directly related.
That dude, Cope, the Hill guy?
Yeah.
I don't think he is related.
What do you mean you don't think he's related?
To Raylan.
So Mary is a cousin of Raylan, Frances, and Helen Givens.
Uh-huh.
So they're cousins.
Well, that doesn't say anything about this dude. I mean, he might just call her cousin Mary.
No. There's let's see here.
I mean, I want something fairly concrete here, and I can't find it on Wikia.
I don't know, because you said the collateral thing was also an indirect line as well. Yeah,
it is.
So did he marry this? Yeah, you're right. I don't know enough about the stupid plot to.
All right. Well, I'm gonna mention it and say that I'm not sure how it connects.
Okay. That's fair.
Because God damn it, I want it to connect.
You know what? The other thing is, I was going to read the Yost postmortem like I usually do, but someone emailed me that it has a massive spoiler for Markham just right in the middle of it, for a massive finale spoiler for Markham, and I'm like, what? Because he's been playing pretty loose.
Why
with
would
the
he do
spoilers.
that?
I don't know.
It's
so I'm like,
finale.
well, fuck. It's just I'm not going to read that.
No, don't do it.
Yeah. So I bet this is one of the things touched on there, though.
Okay. I'm just gonna start up at the second definition of the
thing. I can't wait to fake not knowing what collateral means. Yeah.
No. I'm gonna start at the second definition. So I will have already asked you, do you know what collateral means?
You're an honest man, Jim Jones.
You're not gonna get to fake anything on this show.
You're an honest entertainer.
The more interesting definition of this, though, I think is the second one, which is a person having the same descent in a family as another, but by a different line. And I can't really make this connection here. I feel like that is kind of the definition they're going for. Because there doesn't seem to be a lot of actual like definition 1 collateral.
Right. Not, I mean, I could make some arguments.
Like some money's floating around, some jewelry. I don't know. But it doesn't feel right. Whereas that second definition feels more right, but I can't put my finger on why.
That's because neither one of us can properly remember the Hill Folk storyline from season 4.
We know Mary's a cousin of Raylan.
Yeah.
We don't know how this Cope Hill guy fits into it exactly.
Yeah. We did a bit of research, and I had forgotten that Raylan's stepmom was the sister of his real mom. So
yes.
I hate to say, but we're going to have to give up our real Justified fan status for yet another week.
we only have one more week.
We're going into the finale in complete fan shambles.
I think we have to rewatch the entire series in the next week. Otherwise, we're not fans.
I got too many kid birthdays this weekend to pull that off. But anyway.
All right. Well, I don't know if anybody can write in and maybe make some connections there.
But I like that because that makes this otherwise throw off plot line be more central to the plot, which feeds into my theory that we're going to have the bear riding hill folk cavalry come in and save the day.
All right.
So
bear riders to the rescue.
I like that. Coming soon to the WB.
It's a CW now.
It's a CW afternoons. Bear riders.
Ah, yes. Is it animated?
It would be. It would be. And or if it's a live action, then the Japanese are involved.
Okay, sure. What else do you want to talk about with this episode? You got anything else?
We have steadfast refused to talk about Shea Wiggum / Eli Thompson and Boyd. Yeah.
That's that does a hell of a job to make Boyd look bad.
It also, like, casting Shea, and I don't know if this works for anybody, and he's just that good of an actor, or if it only works for me because I have such affection for him in Boardwalk Empire. But he's just such a sketch of a character. Mm-hmm. But it generates some real emotion when he gets killed.
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, I thought I hated Boyd for killing Carl last episode. I never really cared about Carl. Carl was always a dumb fuck anyway. This guy is just a civilian, and
he seems to be sympathetic to Boyd.
Because I don't think he was quite blowing smoke up his ass. He was. I
don't think so either. Yeah,
he was just the logical conclusion of the legend that is Boyd Crowder is that he's going to put a bullet in your face, and
and I felt like it was really awesome when Boyd decided, not decided, but said, I don't care about my legacy. That's not why I'm in this. That's going to be long after I'm dead. What I care about is me. Yeah. And I'm getting me out of here.
That was an interesting mission statement. I do whatever the fuck I want. Like, I look forward to Boyd's gangster rap album when we finally get out of the season, because he could write a good one.
It just felt right. It felt like this is the moment where we need to know that Boyd is a bad guy. He can't even have shades of good anymore.
But let me ask you this. He was clearly conflicted. At what point did he definitively decide he was going to shoot that guy in the head, or he was always going to shoot him in the head? He was just feeling bad about it.
I think that's it.
Really?
The latter. Yeah. From the start, I mean, if he was ever convinced that he needed to shoot this guy, it would have probably been when he was telling him, look, I'm not going to take your truck. I need you to drive it. And the guy was saying, oh, you're Boyd Crowder. I know about you. You're awesome.
Yeah.
And then he thought the guy was blowing smoke, but I don't think he ever believed. Like, I felt like when the guy said I wasn't blowing smoke, Boyd believed him, but then he shot him anyway because he was always going to.
What do you think it meant? Or was it just a throwaway line that Boyd could then springboard off of when he said, do you remember or have you ever heard of some kid's name? And Boyd's like, who was that? Is that your boy that I shot, or your brother, or someone I got addicted to drugs? Or he went off on that. Do you think that there is, with only one episode left, do you think they're going to pay off this name drop?
Nah,
there's no way.
Nah.
There's no way. You'd have to burn a last week on line for that, because I mean, we watch it more than one time and are like keeping track of this semi-professionally. Most people just are not even going to remember that.
Of course not.
And it's going to have no payoff. So it was just something for him to sink his teeth into response wise.
Yeah, they can't introduce anything new to this show at this point.
Yeah.
That would be foolish.
Yeah.
Even to bring up old stuff. They need to deal with what they've got on the table because that is plenty.
I got to say, I did love him and Boyd talking about his greatest hits double album.
Oh, yeah.
Live from Tokyo. No, that was pretty good. And I also wonder, like, if there was a point where he laid it on too thick, like if he had stopped just short of "Ain't Too Much to Call You a Hero." I don't know, man. I feel like Boyd really struggled to killing that dude.
Maybe probably more than Carl,
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Huh.
Carl's not an innocent.
That's true.
This guy.
But Carl was also loyal.
Yeah.
Is that how? I also think it's interesting that there seemed like they're drawing a line between Markham rather, and Boyd, because Boyd he really doesn't value loyalty at all, or it's a very one-way street.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like Markham, they've shown him so far to be a pretty honest dealer with his guys.
Yeah, I think so.
He's not fucked any of them over, has he?
He was trying to fuck Ty Walker over, but only after he'd been made
compromised. Well, yeah. I guess there's the definition of one-way loyalty, isn't it?
Seems like it, yeah.
So
as long as things are going good for us, you're safe until they're not.
Never mind.
That's about all I've got. Do we have feedback?
Yeah, I'm looking through real quick to make sure we didn't forget anything. Yeah. What did you think of Zachariah and Raylan's debate about him being no better than Boyd?
That's something that
I think it's been something that it's effective
he struggled with him the whole time. That's kind of been in the back of Raylan's mind. I don't think he's unwilling to acknowledge that.
But he doesn't care too, because it just makes him meaner and more pissy with him. So yeah, I guess.
And I'm glad we got a couple lines about, Raylan's actual intentions. He wants to get Boyd. He wants to get to Florida. That's it.
Yeah. Did you think? Oh, I got a couple things more. Did you think that Boyd was wounded beyond just the shoulder wound that he already had
during the scene in the woods?
No, not. I don't think Raylan came close to shooting him, but Constable Bob, because that was a broad daylight shooting, and there was multiple two different guns went off, and I'm assuming they had an exchange.
Yeah.
Do you think that because Boyd is moving kind of stiffly, but he's also got that really weird kind of bent cowboy gait about him anyway?
But he got shot by Ava. So, I mean,
right.
That's what I thought it was the whole time.
I don't think
he got any additional injuries.
Okay. I thought Constable Bob would be a better shot than that.
I don't know.
Huh.
I'd totally buy that. So Constable Bob goes over there thinking it could be anybody. And I think Boyd mostly gets the drop on him, right? Like he probably sees, oh, shit, she was right. It is Boyd. And Boyd's already got his gun out, and Bob just probably sends a Hail Mary his way.
Yeah.
That doesn't work.
So the other thing I want to talk about is Zachariah exploding himself, which to my knowledge is the third time now. Fourth time if you count him almost getting blown off by the mine shaft cover.
Yeah.
That he's been almost exploded this season. Gary Busey's son. Like I said, being stuck in a mine shaft and Zachariah blowing him up down there. This one, did you think that how bad do you think he's hurt?
I didn't feel like he got hurt at all in that.
Yeah. Did you have a problem with that?
He was really, really close to that explosion. Yeah.
Yeah.
I find it really hard to believe that multiple sticks of dynamite blowing up not 10 feet from you would not at least, I don't know, ring your bell.
Sure.
Let alone probably kill you.
It does look like it rung
with
his
a
bell.
percussion.
I would definitely say it rung his bell. But there was no shrapnel involved.
No, there's no shrapnel. It's just the percussion of an explosion breaks your body.
Yeah.
In a lot of different ways.
It can, sure.
And I feel like being that close to that much dynamite would do it.
I once saw a dude at a state fair, if I recall correctly.
Oh, this is going to be good.
No, they put him in a pine box, like an old Wild West coffin type of deal. They sat a
why they put him in a pine box?
Why is that?
So that it explodes more dramatically?
Sure, probably. Although it also created a shrapnel hazard, I would think.
Yeah.
because it was in like this stadium. It was
that's what they use Pine for, like board breaking. And
it was
stuff.
a sideshow to like a truck pull. I'm from Indiana.
Okay.
This shit happens.
Yeah, it does.
So they put a stick of dynamite on his chest, and he wore a helmet and like a fireproof racing suit.
Okay.
They lit the fuse, and then 30 seconds later, it blew up. And he was lying there on the ground, with bits of scorched wood all around him, and he was fine. And
where's the trap door? I'm looking for the trap door at that point.
So here's the thing: I saw this with my own 2 eyes, and I didn't think it was a magic trick because the whole tenor of the show was not he was a magician. It was like, watch a truck back over his chest, watch a cinder block bust over his head. It was more like feats of strength and endurance than it was like sleight of hand.
Kind of like a David Blaine.
And it was a sizable explosion. Like I remember seeing like the shock wave spread on the ground in the dirt floor, and I remember feeling the pressure wave hit me. So I feel like it's possible if you're jumping away and it looks like he was taking cover behind like a wood pile or something, that he could survive that. It was in the realm of possibility for me.
You watched a man strap dynamite to himself and ignite it.
No. He did not strap it. I think that would be fatal. If then it becomes a shaped charge, it's just going to ravage his chest.
Yeah. So is there any chance that this guy strapped a very unloaded stick of dynamite to his chest?
I mean, obviously I'm not an explosive expert, and I didn't pack the
like maybe if you're wearing,
I'm just saying it was a pretty big explosion.
So if you're wearing some kind of protection underneath your fire suit, like
chest
Kevlar or a chest plate or something, and you pack that dynamite really, really small, like a 1/10 of a stick. Maybe I could see that, and that would easily be enough to blow apart a pine box. Those are those are flimsy. That's the whole point. I don't believe that Zachariah would have packed 3 sticks of dynamite with a 30th of a charge each and strapped them to his chest. He's got 3 full sticks of dynamite on his chest. He's gone. He's completely gone at the end of that scene, and Boyd somehow survives. So I'm not going to discount your steel-plated magic trick.
Speaking of explosions, we got like a hellacious storm outside.
Yeah, it's been storming here.
Standard warning for the people watching: power could go out. If the cameras go dead, then
it could.
And we're not back within a few minutes. Then probably means we are in old pioneer mode.
So I don't know. I found it hard to believe that Boyd wouldn't have been decapacitated. Incapacitated.
No, I think with an explosion that large, you can be decapacitated.
Probably. Yeah.
Decapitated.
Unemboweled. Decapacitated.
Oh, unemboweled. You caught me like with the breath 100% of my lungs and almost killed me.
Yeah.
I almost decompiled.
Well, that's the only thing that saves you from a dynamite explosion. If you inhale during a dynamite explosion, you're done.
Yeah, you have to decompile your lungs. I think that's about it.
Okay. Let's do the feedback.
Let's do the feedback.
Before the storm
takes us all.
Studio.
Jesus. It's going to turn into the Twister in here. Scott M said, loving the cast. Should we just like take a break, man? Because that's loud as hell.
That's really loud.
That must be coming in like at a straight line wind right against that window.
Yeah, it's super loud.
The thing is, this stuff never lasts long. Like a minute or two, and this is going to at least go to believable levels. Ooh.
All right, let's hold off for a minute. People can watch me drink.
Plus, it give me a chance to check my notes because I feel like there's still one important thing I'm leaving out. Let me be organized. Talk about the mountain people. Yeah, talked about Zach, and yeah, we didn't talk about. We talked about Raylan willing his land to the hillbillies, right? Yep, because that's the Bear Patrol.
Yep,
the Bear Riders of Appalachia. Yeah, talked about him talking to Catherine. Buffy's the lawyer. The double snitch theory. Yeah, Shay Wiggums. Loretta and her boyfriend. What do you think about line of the week? That's the only thing that I don't have a good handle on because there was a lot of good ones.
Ooh, line of the week. Damn, I don't remember any specific line. I remember thinking there was one that wasn't funny, but that was just cool, and
sure.
I can't remember what it was.
See, it's died down now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got to be Raylan. Your teeth glow in the dark. How'd you know it was me, not some Boy Scout looking for his kid? Your teeth glow in the dark. Let's see. There's one other. Yeah, I want to go with that. Your teeth glow in the dark.
Okay.
Where would it leave off?
We were going to go into feedback, but we decided not to. So I guess one last thing you got to do is
okay. I can just say one last thing.
Whatever you want to say, man. Whatever you want to say. Here we go.
It's on me, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's on you.
I gotcha.
It's your thing.
Okay. Are you recording?
I never stop recording.
Oh,
during one of these, I just mark it.
Okay, so one other thing, I almost forgot to do the line of the week. I got to give it to Raylan with your teeth glow in the dark.
It's a good line, yeah, and it's one that has been made mention of before.
Yeah,
which is why I like it.
I the only thing I can't, every time I hear a show where they conspicuously comment on someone's physical appearance, especially when it's goofy. I just see like Walton Goggins staying in his bathroom with his grin on his face in the dark in front of his mirror with tears like streaming down his face, you know. Bad enough the man has to wear Nazi tattoos all over himself.
Yeah, that's got to be rough.
And then that shit happens to him.
They like to do that on the show, though. They comment about, like, you know, the big toe-headed baby face or whatever it is, baby head.
Oh, yeah.
Quarrels.
Yeah.
And they comment about Duffy, and, like, they make fun of their actors' appearances
except
quite a bit.
Timothy Oliphant.
Well, there's nothing to make fun of there, right?
There's got to be something. His horseshoe ring.
People make fun of his hat.
They do talk about him being a dick and an asshole, which is fair enough.
Yeah. Make fun of his attitude.
No, he's a very pretty man.
Sure.
I can understand that.
So I like that when the show does that kind of stuff.
Shall we have the feedback?
Let's do it.
All right. Scott M said, I have to comment that Raylan has shot Boyd before, way back in season 1, just like in the first or second episode. He sat in Ava's dining room at the table and they draw on one another. You were one of many that told us that, and God damn it, just when I thought, I mean, we'd already given up our true fan status. Now we're like in double probation. No hope that we can get the real fan status back before the finale. I'm sorry.
Unless we twist it like Yost does.
How are we going to twist it?
I don't know. That's the thing. You never see it coming.
We have to have Taylor Elmore, executive co-producer of the show, call us personally, record it, giving us real fan status back. That's as official as you get.
I think so.
Like, you got to go up to Yost before and Oliphant before it gets more official. Michael P said, when Boone and Raylan finally draw on each other, I wonder if keeping his firing chamber clear will be a problem for Boone. In a situation where milliseconds matter, having to pull the trigger twice seems like a lot of extra time. Plus, Boone's revolver probably has a longer trigger pull than Raylan's Glock. I predict that because Boone always shoots for the head, he will hit Raylan's hat and not his head, especially with all this hat talk between the two of them. I love that I have no clue about how Raylan and Boyd's showdown is going to happen. I think it's going to be awesome. So I didn't call attention to this in the show because I didn't want to get all my negative nitpicking in one go. But I feel like this is because I personally have a revolver, but they don't work this way.
Okay.
They're old-time revolvers that didn't have some kind of safety interlock that disconnected the hammer. There was somehow comes between the hammer and the firing pin of your cartridge. These has a physical hammer that cocks back, and that thing, when you pull the trigger, swings forward, makes the primer go bang, which sets off the gunpowder, which then does the whole next one coming at you faster business.
Sure.
Old-timey ones didn't have that. So if you dropped it and it made that, hammer essentially strike it inadvertently, it could go off. So I guess you carried the gun with the hammer on the empty chamber. Now, the other thing you got to realize about revolvers is they're really kind of cool mechanically. Pulling the trigger in a double action anyway makes the hammer go back, but also rotates the cylinder around to the next round. So when the hammer falls, it shoots the next round. If you leave the hammer on an empty chamber, you're not going to have to pull twice. You're going to run out of ammo one round before you would if you had an entire cylinder full.
Yeah.
I feel like they're confusing how a semi-automatic pistol works. Whereas if you indeed left an open a bullet not in the chamber, you would have to cock and pull twice with the way a revolver works, with the way you would have to safely carry an archaic version of a revolver.
I'm with you. And it strikes me as really strange because even I knew that. And I've only fired a gun once. I don't own a gun.
Sure.
Nothing. And I knew how a revolver works. So I'm wondering if there isn't something else here that is very specific to like the old gun that Boone is using.
That's the thing. I'm as I've said before, I like guns. I'm not a gun fancier, so it would not blow me away to find out that at this particular model of gun that he's using, for some bizarre reason,
I can't imagine what
advances the cylinder when you let go of the trigger. Like instead of advancing it while you're pulling it. But to me, I don't know.
But yeah, that I can't imagine how that would actually,
because that's the thing.
Work.
The trigger pull on revolver is hard because your finger is doing a hell of a lot of work besides just releasing the hammer.
Sure, pulling that hammer back.
There's a spring assembly that returns it to place, but that's doing a lot less work because it's literally just bringing the trigger forward and might in some revolvers retracting the safety mechanism or whatever. But yeah, if the return trigger pull is what's advancing it, the springs must be incredibly strong. I don't know. Maybe that gives you a really light trigger pull on a revolver. So if there is one of those designs floating around there, again, it wouldn't blow my hair back, and that's why I'm not calling total bullshit. But it really struck me as odd, especially since Justified, well, I don't know. I guess I'm trying to think of like what gun enthusiasts have said on forums about Justified, and I guess it kind of has a checkered history with, you know, what people are claiming to use versus what they're actually using, and any kind of consistency about that stuff.
All right.
Anyway, but I like your prediction about the hat getting shot off. That's a solid prediction.
It's cool. Yeah. I want to see him with like a bucket on under his hat.
Yeah.
Like some kind of really thick steel or like a ballistics helmet or something.
I just want to see like Raylan drop to the ground and the guy think he's dead and he comes over and Raylan and shoots him. And then you see his Raylan pick up and you just see that there's a hole in his hat, but high enough that it didn't actually hit him.
Or I kind of just want to see Raylan blast the guy.
Yeah.
Like I would be okay with him just drawing down and just winning it fair and square.
But there is something with this whole shooting for the head business. Now,
that's
the other thing I want to talk about.
We didn't really talk about that.
Did you think Boone was literally aiming for the head and didn't and just missed by a good foot? Or do you think he shot the kid in the shoulder just to kind of have him crying on the ground in front of Loretta?
From what he says when he walks up to that kid, I think he just kind of missed.
Man, I get he's shooting from the hip and this is a quick draw situation.
Yeah.
But
he's like, that's what you get when you're aiming for the head or something like that.
And he justifies it because of people,
shot in the shoulder,
people wearing body armor and all that stuff. But the reason people aim for center of mass is because it's a lot easier to hit, especially when you're not aiming.
But you got to imagine that this guy thinks Raylan could be wearing bulletproof vest.
Sure.
Kevlar vest, whatever. Yeah, I think the guy just missed because it's a damn hard shot and it's a damn quick shot.
Well, then that's, you know, if he pulls that shit with Raylan, he's going to be a dead man.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, he's going to be a dead man. What am I talking about?
It could be there to show that, you know, he's not quite the cowboy he thinks he is either.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then maybe Raylan is, in fact, a lot better than this guy.
I would buy that. Jay from Tallahassee said, I'm doing a lot of PDFU, which he says parenthetically, please don't fuck up. Prayers this week for the series finale. They have so much to cover, and the finale isn't even an extended episode. Markham and Loretta check to make sure Bob is still alive, Duffy in his pet control van, Ava, Boyd, Boone, the Marshal Service, and all less than 45 minutes. Are you guys as concerned about this as I am?
Yeah.
Please don't fuck up Justified. I am concerned, but again, I said this exact same thing about the 2 episodes ago, and then they dropped one of the best of the season, and they've always been able to, even go back to season 1, which isn't as strong a season, those last 3 or 4 episodes are dynamite. And Justified always, even last year, it wasn't as good, but they closed those final few episodes well, I thought. As big of a mess as the season as a whole was.
Yeah, you know, I was going to go back to season 4 and say that was a season I wasn't too into, but man, they brought it around with the stuff with his dad at the end.
Sure.
Like that, they just nailed that finale. And I'm really hoping they get it here, you know, being the series finale. I've got my fingers crossed. I'm doing the PDFU thing, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm expecting them not to. So I will be probably extra furious if they do. But again, I guess I'll say a few prayers to Jake. Pavlov's Bell on the forum says, your teeth glow in the dark as line of the week. And I concur. That nighttime shootout was a deconstruction of Raylan, and Shea Wiggum's deconstruction of Boyd were my standout scenes. But Tim's telephone version of live tweeting Vasquez's meltdown with Boone gunslinging demonstration and Boone's gunslinging demonstration are also excellent.
Yeah.
So we all know now that Boone is wicked fast, but also that he goes for risky shots, and he keeps his chamber empty. There's no way he's going to take down Raylan, but she still wants Loretta to take him out. Does it seem to me? It seems ever more likely that he's going or she's going to take him out and not Raylan.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do this gunslinger stuff if you're not going to have Raylan and him show down at some point?
They will show down. I'm just saying this is another third-party rule where I think I would find it equally satisfying that Loretta herself does.
Okay, Raylan shoots him. Raylan doesn't shoot for the head, right? Raylan shoots for
center
the
mass
chest.
is what it seems like, yeah.
So Raylan blasts him. He's laying there on the ground, and then Loretta runs in and pours moonshine down his throat. Apple pie.
It's not even poison, asshole. You're just drowning. I'm waterboarding you with moonshine.
Harlan County, bitch.
Welcome to Harlan. Will Smith style.
Yep.
Punches him. All right. Emily, also from the forums.
Smokes a cigar.
And it apparently catches on fire because she's covered in moonshine. It's a good thing alcohol burns at a relatively low temperature. Okay, Emily says, there's no way Boyd can live after this episode. They've done a great job of reminding the audience how much of a bad guy he really is, despite his charm and fancy speaking.
And teeth. His white teeth.
His Dayglow teeth. So I'm definitely expecting him to die. But that scene in the woods between him and Raylan was just so damn good. Also, how does this rank in terms of all-time favorite Justified episodes? Personally, I love the season 2 finale. Can't remember the title.
Yep.
I will helpfully add that the title is Bloody Harlan or Decoy. So Decoy is the high school shootout episode that I would have sworn on my firstborn's life was the season finale. But when I was looking it up on Wikipedia, it's actually episode 411. I forgot they had all the epilogue stuff with the Drew Thompson / Sheriff Shelby stuff.
That was a good one.
That was a real good one.
Yeah.
That was an excellent one.
Constable Bob being tortured in the school there.
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff in there.
Yep. Yeah, I can't think of right off the top of my head better ones.
I mean, I thought the episode right before this was better, frankly.
Sure.
But I can't remember. Obviously, we don't remember all of these episodes. But I mean, season 2 finale is easily the best.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, go back and watch that, and the confidence they had to end the story on that note. No wrap up, no long. Where's Drew Thompson? That just is really makes it stand out in my mind because the best, it's almost like they went out in the middle of the climax. There's no resolution at all, or they saved the resolution for the early part of next year. Yeah, strong scene. That's actually all the feedback we got. You can send us more. I mean, this is going to be the last opportunity to do it next week on Justified, the finale. Please send your any season closing thoughts you'd have. Don't wait for next week. Send them all in to email or on our forums at forums.baldmove.com. You can email us at justified@baldmove.com. Keep up with all the releases on Twitter @baldmove and on Facebook by liking us on facebook.com/baldmove. Yeah, but next, any thoughts? Any thoughts on coolest scene or not coolest scene? Yeah, I guess that works too. But coolest Raylan kill, coolest line, best line, funniest line, thoughts on the series overall, thoughts on your favorite season. If this changes your mind from the consensus best season 2, I'd like be interested in all that stuff because it's going to serve as that kind of wrap up cast as well.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, let's wrap up this cast.
Let's do it.
Okay. We'll see you guys next week. Until then, I'm Jim.
I'm Aaron. See ya.